It's Halloween night in the year 2000, and a Boeing 747 slowly crawls onto the runway in Taiwan amid howling winds and torrential rain. The pilots strain to see through their windscreens as they push their four massive engines to take off thrust. They have no idea that a terrifying surprise awaits them just ahead. This is the harrowing story of Singapore Airlines Flight 6. October 31, 2000. It was Halloween night in Taipei, and the weather was ominous. Typhoon Zangsane was rapidly approaching, and its outer bands were already battering the airport. Winds gusting up to 100 kilometers per hour rocked aircraft on the tarmac, while heavy rain lashed the terminal. Inside a Singapore Airlines Boeing 747, 159 passengers from 20 different countries were settling in for what was expected to be an uneventful overnight flight. Most of the passengers were from the United States and Taiwan. Of these, 77 had boarded earlier in Singapore, and 82 joined them in Taipei. Along with the passengers, a well-rested crew of 3 pilots was ready to ensure a safe flight. The experienced crew. The captain, Thun Chi Kong, was a 41-year-old Malaysian national with over 11,000 flight hours. He was regarded as one of Singapore Airlines' top pilots. First Officer Lati Sirino, a 36-year-old Singaporean, had 2,500 flight hours, including 500 on the 747. The relief pilot, 38-year-old Ong Kong Lung, was experienced and expected to take over mid-flight for rest purposes. Departure preparations. At 11:05 p.m., the aircraft pushed back from Gate B5. Despite the severe weather, the pilots remained calm and methodical. The captain emphasized caution and precision, vowing to proceed slowly and carefully. A fatal mistake. At that time, Taipei Airport was undergoing renovations. Runway 05 right was being converted into a taxiway, but its original runway markings and lighting were still intact, leading to potential confusion. When Flight 6 was cleared to line up for takeoff, the pilots mistakenly entered runway 05 right instead of 05 left. Misled by green taxiway lights and unaware of their error, they prepared for takeoff on the closed and construction-laden runway. The tragic crash. At 11:16 p.m., the plane accelerated down the runway. Moments before reaching takeoff speed, the pilots saw construction equipment, bulldozers, concrete barriers, and rollers, illuminated by the aircraft's landing lights. The aircraft, traveling at 280 kilometers per hour, collided with the obstacles. 3 engines were torn off, the left wing was destroyed, and the fuel tanks ruptured, igniting a massive fireball. The 747 broke into 3 sections as it tumbled down the runway. Emergency responders reached the scene within minutes. Despite their efforts, 83 of the 179 people on board lost their lives. The crash marked the first fatal accident in Singapore Airlines history, and the first involving a Boeing 747-400. Investigators found that the pilots were misled by the incomplete conversion of runway 05 right into a taxiway. The outdated markings and lighting played a significant role in the accident. Additionally, the crew relied heavily on routine practices, overlooking critical indicators like the unshuttered PVD and green centerline lights. This accident highlighted the dangers of confirmation bias, where individuals interpret information in a way that confirms their pre-existing beliefs.